Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? It has been a day. It has definitely been a day. I hope yours was a good day, though. A very good day. Let's put that up there. You know, just missing a whole bunch of stuff. Getting a late start today. There you go. Alrighty. Wanted to make sure I had the crypto tracker up in case I had to look something up real quick. Tonight's question is, who just dropped their case against Coinbase? Ohio, Alabama, Oregon, other. This is actually a very interesting question if you stop and think about it just a little bit. I hope you're doing well. I hope you invested in yourselves today. That's a big deal, whether you choose to believe it or not. It is a big deal, and not just to me. Whew. Oh, it's been a long day. I've been up since 4 a.m. I'm running a little low on energy. But, you know, a good thing is my daughter made this carrot cake cheesecake thing, and it just tasted great. I just had a slice of it. Tasted great. Thank you, baby. So I know we're kind of wondering what's going on in the news. So ZK Sync had $5 million stolen, $5 million in crypto stolen. I believe they hacked in, they minted. All right. They paid the ransom. Well, the bounty. They paid the bounty and they got $5 million back. Okay. It was a 10% bounty. Can't be too mad about that. Cannot be too mad about that. Right? And you have to kind of stop and say, well, you know, I broke in. I want to see if I can make some money. And they did. Because I doubt if they would have gotten that much money via the normal course. But that does say that, you know, those hackers, you know, they stopped and they thought about it. It's pretty cool. If it's other, put it in the comments, please. What else do we have? LAPD recovers $3.9 million in stolen goods. That's not a big deal. They tracked the shipment to some place in California, blah, blah, blah. That's great. That's not the big deal. You want to know what the big deal is? The big deal is that $2.7 million of that was actually Bitcoin mining equipment. How do you steal $2.7 million of Bitcoin mining equipment? And it was headed to Hong Kong. It was headed to Hong Kong. So it makes you wonder, are they looking to mine Bitcoin or are they looking to do some AI stuff? Either way, that's not good. In no way is that good. Something else that came up today. So El Salvador had already cut a deal. I forgot who the other country was. You know what? Let me look it up. Let me see. El Salvador. Let's see, the 20. Nope, not that one. No, let's just do Salvador. All right. 22nd. No, because they just cut a deal with another country. And it was just recently, too. The truth is that they're talking to the United States about cutting a deal. El Salvador's Digital Asset Authority and SEC's Crypto Task Force discussed a regulatory sandbox to test tokenized real estate and equity pilots between U.S. brokers and Salvadoran firms with no binding deal reached. That's still a big deal, whether you choose to believe it or not, in many ways, or in many cases. Aloha 8 pause. And you invested in yourself today, and you think it's the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. Okay. What else happened? Alabama dropped its lawsuit. I know I should have just let it play out, but I'm tired. I don't think I'm gonna last that long. I've been up like mad early and going to bed mad late for the past like week and a half. So I'm done. So I think 8:30 might be it, but I wanted to get through a whole bunch of stuff. Alabama dropped its lawsuit against Coinbase's staking program amid federal regulatory shifts, reducing active stake cases to 5 and reinforcing calls for unified crypto staking regulation. That's actually a very big deal. I know I cut it off short. I'm sorry. Yo, Hutanic, what's good? That's cute. Did you invest in yourself today? He'd probably like to smack me in the back of the head right now. That's actually a very big deal because the cases are starting to fall by the wayside. Alabama did the right thing. Oregon needs to kind of, wake up a little bit. Just a little bit. Sovereign wealth funds increased Bitcoin holdings in April as a hedge against inflation and dollar weakness. I'm just saying. I'm still kind of cracking up because, the current regime is talking as if they're doing the world a favor, or he's doing the world a favor because he's not going to fire Jerome Powell. And it's kind of like, you're not going to fire Jerome Powell. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Sir, did you invest in yourself today? I'm not going to respond to anything else until you answer me. What else is there? Coinbase and Andreessen Horowitz, A16Z, are causing a little bit of a ruckus in the crypto space because they don't want Congress to deal with the current bill that's on the floor because they want something a little bit more comprehensive with regard to stablecoins and that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting back and I'm just kind of like, what's going on there? What's their ulterior motive? What's the play? I'll read it to you. Coinbase and Andreessen Horowitz are lobbying to delay standalone stablecoin legislation in favor of a comprehensive crypto regulation package, causing division within the industry over legislative priorities. What that means is they don't want a standalone stablecoin bill. They want one bill for everything. I can already see the play. The larger the bill, the more difficult it is. Not the more difficult, but the easier it is to find loopholes and things like that. I like the idea of a standalone stablecoin bill. I really do. That's lame. Go to the corner, Hutanic. That's just lame. Where's Patient One? Where's Patient One? I'm gonna start asking for her now, because somebody needs to talk some sense into you, young man. I prefer a standalone stablecoin bill. I want focus on stablecoins. The reason why I want focus on stablecoins is not just because I want focus on stablecoins, but because I don't think a larger bill will happen in this kind of time frame. The stablecoin bill can actually be reviewed and put to the test in weeks. I want to know what's going on with that. And on the flip side, I can actually say, well, why would you want a larger bill? Well, it would force you to look at stablecoins differently as you compare everything to a larger package. Right now, the stable coins that are out there are looking for a 1-to-1 reserve backing between fiat and treasury, treasury bonds. I don't know. See, I'm still going and you seem to have petered out already. Mister, I've been up before you. Please, man. I started waking up at 3:30. I just didn't get out of bed until 4. And I do this on a regular basis, as you know. Smart Alec, man. Smart Alec. And it's not a race. Some people. But yeah, I'm just wondering if they think that the standalone stablecoin bill is either not advantageous to them, which I can believe, doesn't really consider everything, which I can believe, or they're just like, it's sort of like kicking a can down the road. Everybody would latch on to this one stablecoin bill. Oh, look what we did, but not have tackled the larger conversation. And because you have the stablecoin bill, it's going to take even longer for the more robust legislation. Whatever the reason, I have to say, I can drop in on either side, but I would like to see stablecoins have a bill and be able to say, yeah, you can earn interest on your stablecoin. I think another reason why I stop and I think about stablecoins is because fiat's going to have a problem. Fiat, if you do not regulate properly, fiat's going to have a problem. I don't care what country you are. Fiat could have a problem just because of stablecoins. Mark my words. The reason why it could be a problem, well, because more and more people would be using stable coins in a digital economy versus the dollar, and everything is pointing toward digital economy, right? So less dollar, more digital assets, hence stablecoin usage as you bounce between the various assets. So I could see that. They want buyers of bonds. Absolutely. They want buyers of bonds. Oh, poor baby. You up at 2 a.m. my time? Good for you. You want a biscuit? I ain't got none. I got nothing. You want me? I got a box of tissues. I know you want to hit me. Oh, dude. I can't repeat that, but I absolutely agree with you. Here's something that's really, really, really bothering me, and I don't think people are really thinking about it. So as you know, the current regime has a meme coin out there. So what does he do? He's hosting a dinner, or hosted a dinner, with the top holders of that coin. Does that not scream manipulation? Does that not scream conflict of interest? Because I'm going to have dinner with the biggest holders of the coin. Does that not scream that there's a problem right there? It does to me. It does to me. Because now you're going to be able to, if you buy enough coins, you can have dinner with the President of the United States. You bought an audience with the President of the United States. That's scary. I don't care what anybody says. That's scary. That's a scary thing. That's a very scary thing. Rick Ritchie in the house. And you invested in yourself today. That's what's up. It didn't tank. How are you going to sit there and say gold tanked? Gold did not tank. Wow. Gold is at 33.24.60 or $3,324.60. That's what gold is at right now. And you're calling it gold tanked. Dude, I need you to go take a seat. Go in the corner, take a nap, because clearly that's what you need. Not trying to be mean, but clearly that's what you need. Because, wow. Oh, snap. My cuzzo is on. What's going on, cuzzo? Terracina. That's what's up. Here's to you. Cheers, cuzzo. It's a beautiful Malbec. Beautiful Malbec. Short-sighted thought. It's not a short-sighted thought. Dude, you're just belly aching because you haven't gotten any sleep and you're crying about gold. Dude, you're going to keep buying, so I don't understand what your problem is. I don't understand what your problem is. But seriously, when I think about what's going on, I find it to be a problem that all you have to do is buy some crypto and you can have dinner with the president of the United States. Ramp that up a little bit. Just ramp that up a little bit. How much of the crypto did you have to buy? What's the definition of top holders? Because that's favor. That is favor. That's a problem. That is a massive, massive problem. And by the way, Hutanic, with regard to gold, yes, I'm all right with the dip. You want to know why? You know why. Because I'm going to buy. What's your point? What's your problem, man? Don't hate the game. Don't hate the game. Don't hate the player. This is a good game. This is a good game. I'm going to buy Pax G, and I'm going to be happy because it's lower right now. And Hutanic just wants to kick me at the moment. I know he does. So right now, I'm just looking across crypto, and I'm just thinking that there are a lot of people out there that need to do their own research, know their entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. It sounds funny. It sounds funny. Yes, I'm leaning on my desk because I'm tired. But I have to tell you, in times like this, I need you to be on your A game. I absolutely need you to be on your A game. There's a lot that's going on. What am I doing? Yes, I'm still DCAing. Am I playing the volatility? Yes, I'm playing the volatility. Have I sold anything as of late? A little bit. Not as much as Galaxy Digital, though. Galaxy Digital dumped about $100 million worth of Ethereum and then bought $98 million, give or take, of Solana. Is that a vote against Ethereum? I don't think so. I think that was just a quick, it could have been, depending on when they bought. Could have been, or it could have been, hey, we're going to take this profit and we're going to jump on to Solana because we think Solana is going to go from 130, 131 and change up to 150, in which case we're going to make a lot of money. It's got a long way to go before it gets back to that 200. I will say this, though. It's been a minute since they've had a network problem. And I'm beginning to get that little itch as if one could be coming up. I just feel like a network problem for Solana could be coming up. Asia is saying they are dumping bonds because it closed at a high yield. Yes, it did. But that's not the only reason why they're dumping bonds. It's to basically tell the United States, back off. Your tariffs are stupid. You wanted to cause everybody to look over here. Okay, great. Now back off and finish doing what you were doing. Because while everybody's looking at tariffs, go look at what else is going on. That's why he's got you looking at tariffs. Just saying, this is some common sense type stuff. Yeah, we have a ton of debt. A lot of countries have debt. We just happen to be the country with the most debt. That's a problem. Like I was saying yesterday, what plan have you heard that's going to bring down that $36 trillion worth of debt? Have you heard any plan whatsoever from this current regime that that's what they're doing? That's what they're working on. The only thing I've heard are cuts here, cuts there, deregulation, blah, blah, blah. I haven't heard anything about bringing down that debt. Not a damn thing. As a matter of fact, I've heard about bringing up the debt. the current plan that they're pushing out there raises the debt. Oh, hold it. Raises the debt while cutting benefits to citizens. I don't know. Have you looked at Social Security lately? Medicare's next. Just saying. Social Security, that's a problem to me. Because how do you cut that? You cut the services, but yet you're still collecting the money on it. So I'm paying into something where I'm not going to have the service. It's not cute. Let me keep my money then. I think May alone is $6 trillion to roll. You mean $6 trillion in interest? Yeah, we've got a major problem. I heard a comedian the other day. I forgot his name. I forgot the guy's name. Listening to the comedian, he goes, I don't think you should pick a math fight with China. I almost fell out. I almost fell out over that. You want to play a math game against China. I cracked up. It was never meant to be that. It was never meant to be that. It was meant to be a distraction, and it is. It is. Unfortunately, they chose a distraction that did way more than just disrupt the market. Look at bonds. Yes, bonds came down a teensy weensy little bit. Teensy weensy little bit. But people are cashing in. Trading Maverick, what's good? And you invested in yourself today. That's what I'm talking about. Teresina, did you invest in yourself today? Answer the question. Did you invest in yourself today? I need to know. So yeah, there are problems that we're facing right now that I'm just not happy with. Right? We've got too much good woman. I love it. I love it. Cuzzo invested in herself today. That's what's up. There are too many things that are pointing toward deregulation of industries like banking, financial industry in general, that are going to help those industries, but set us up for another 2008. In what way is that good? So much manipulation started out strong and dumped in the last 2 hours. Yeah, bro. That it's scary when you stop and you think about, wow, is it past 2 days? What kind of manipulation have we seen? Tesla missed on just about everything. Then the new regime says something about it, and then it starts to pop back up again. I don't understand how anybody could be investing in Tesla when their Cybertrucks are literally falling apart. I don't understand how anybody could be looking at this new regime as anything serious when they were going to cut a $437 million deal to buy Cybertrucks. If you've ever been in the military or you've had family in the military, what were you going to use those trucks for? With 2 fingers, you can pull off the side panels. Are you kidding? It's like tape and glue. Are you serious? Nah, I'm not. In no way. In no way am I going to be happy about that. So I don't know if that contract's going through, but I don't think the contract should go through just because Elon makes about $8 million a day just from the government contracts alone across all of his businesses. Can you let that sink in? Can you let that marinate just a little bit? $8 million a day. Please delete that. I do not find that to be funny at all. I do not like the manipulation of my name or my business name or anything like that. Please delete that. So yeah, I'm just looking at that. I'm just like, not cool. So when I look at the broader market, that's just too much going on. Thank you. That's just too much stuff going on. There's so much manipulation out there. I'm just giving you an example, but there's so much manipulation out there. And something that I'm beginning not to like, these billion-dollar, hundreds of millions of dollars in OTC transactions. I don't think it's fair. Why don't I think it's fair? It's a good question. I don't think it's fair because I have to buy everything that I get on the open market, and I have to pay open market price. Whereas if you do an OTC, number one, it's not going to affect the market, and I get to negotiate a price. I have room for negotiation. Are you serious? What's that called? Oh, I think it's called privilege. You know that word, right, Cuzzo? Privilege. I think it's called privilege. That's not cool. That's not cool. Only 160,000 BTC on the OTC market right now. Here's a problem with that. That's from what we see. Remember, any company that's already holding that does a private transaction, that is OTC. Now, the OTC that I'm talking about is the Cuzzo knows privilege. Is the idea that I can move hundreds of millions of dollars without anybody actually knowing. And it's not going to affect the price or anything. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing at the same time. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing at the same time. And then you find out later on, oh yeah, this company bought this amount of money, blah, blah, blah. They're only announcing it because they're publicly traded firms and they have to at some point. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. What part of that is good? I mean, I don't mind if I go to the store and I boop, boop, because I'm hosting your company website and somebody buys something on your website and they're doing a crypto transaction. That's a transaction between the purchaser and the vendor. My company does not get involved. I can understand that. I get that. But that's a transaction that happens on the blockchain. It's not a transaction where I'm just handing over keys or anything like that. Now, there are transactions, OTC transactions, where you can see it on the blockchain and a whole nine. But a lot of these cases, you don't know who's buying what and all that good stuff. $14 billion is very little. Yeah, I wish I had a $14 billion. I wish very little, very little. Thank you, very little. I'm just saying. So when you look at all this news, El Salvador possibly cutting a deal with the United States to have some kind of a sandbox with regard to what? Tokenization. I want you to take a look at all the businesses tied to the current regime, all of the crypto businesses tied to the current regime and their family, and see how much of that is tokenization. Yeah. I want you to think about that. Right? Just saying. Yeah, 160,000 Bitcoin. $14 billion. Now think about that. He's not playing. Hutanik is actually correct. 160,000 Bitcoin, $14 billion. And I asked the question, I think last week, at what point do all of the OTC brokers say, can't do it anymore? Can't do it anymore. We don't have enough in reserve to be able to cover that. Nope, can't do it. Aha. I think that's when you're going to see things just go parabolic. Imagine Coinbase saying, yeah, nah, sorry, we can't hook you up with that OTC deal that you're looking for. We can't do it. The day that happens, things will go just absolutely bonkers. When they start rationing the sales, that's when the market's going to go bonkers. And I want you to stop and think about this. You're not that far away. $14 billion? Are you kidding me? What strategy's deal? $14 billion over the next 2 years. But you have Strategy, Metaplanet, Semler Scientific, BlackRock, Fidelity, Galaxy Digital. Oh, yeah. You have all of those companies out there doing the same damn thing. Not to mention all of the regular folk that are snatching things up. Like Eddie Murphy said, aha, aha. It would make monetary sense for the Department of Defense to buy Tesla now and justify putting lots of money into fortifying them to specs. No, that's a waste of taxpayer money. Tesla stock price will increase because it's a guaranteed contract. Yeah, that was the game. But they wouldn't fortify them. I don't think they would fortify them. I drive a Hummer. How the heck does a Hummer compare? How does a Tesla compare to a Hummer? That Cybertruck? Yo, my Hummer would roll over that Cybertruck, dance on it, do a crab walk on it, and drive off. Dead serious. I saw one of those contests where people are trying to drive up the hill with their trucks and everything, and the Cybertruck couldn't make it. And somebody took their truck and went up the hill backward. I know it's a level of rude, but so yeah, when I look at Tesla, I'm kind of like, yeah, that's interesting. Something else that I found interesting today. Google is in the middle of layoffs. Well, Google is in the middle of trimming or culling the herd, as they say. Letting loose a few people. How are they doing it? Come back to the office or lose your job. Yeah. 3 days a week. If you're a remote worker, imagine this. You're a remote worker. You were hired as a remote worker. You're a remote worker. You got to come into what? Not this office, not that office, but one of our offices 3 days a week. So that it blew the argument out of the water that, oh, you're going to come back to the office because collaboration and all that. They're not even trying to hide it. We don't get our tax write-offs unless more people come back to the office. So we need you to come back to the office or we lose our tax write-off. We don't care about you. We don't care about you and how we hired you. We hired you as a remote worker, and now we want you to come into the office 3 days a week. Wow. The level of wow is astonishing. And people are probably wondering, why am I bringing this up? People are going to be pounding the pavement. Who works at Google? A bunch of freaking smart people. That's who works at Google. Google has a product that goes up against Zoom. Why do I have to come to the office? In this day and age, I've got Zoom, I've got Google product, I've got Microsoft Teams. I have all these things that make it so that I don't have to go to the office, but you want me to come into the office. For what reason? It's not about you. It's about your money coming back to the office, which leads me to, this will piss you off. Please don't get mad at me, but this will piss you off. I give you that example because as they're trying to make some people come back to the office, these same companies, not necessarily Google, I'm just saying other companies, are offshoring jobs to India. So that money is going to India. The jobs are going to India. But your ploy is to make people come back to the office. And if they don't, fire them. Wow. I think you're going to see a lot of small businesses pop up. Within the next 5 years, I think you're going to see a lot of small businesses pop up. Straight up. People are tired of corporate America, and corporate America is not getting it. People are tired of them. They're absolutely tired of corporate America. Just screwing them over. I mean, for everything from putting chemicals in our food so it'll last longer, it'll be fresher. As soon as you put the chemicals in the food, it's not fresher. Just saying. Just going to put that out there for you. But everything that they're doing is not for the betterment of the people. And people are getting tired of it. They're absolutely getting tired of it. And you're going to see I think you're going to start to see a lot of companies come to the realization that, oh, wow, we didn't necessarily make the right decision. Because the very people that make it so that we can make these record profits no longer have jobs. They no longer have jobs. And the more people that don't have jobs, the less people that can buy our products and services, less people that buy our products and services, we make less money. I mean, at what point do you stop and say, I asked this last week, what is your definition of enough? Truth be told, remove all the tax write-offs for major corporations. Remove all of the tax write-offs for major corporations. What would happen then? What would happen then? Oh, that's right. They'd start paying their fair share and people would be able to make money. And you can't tell me that, oh, you know, we have too many ups and downs. You can't fault us for taking profit this year. I'm not saying you need to be faulted for taking profit. That's not what I said. Go on, make your money. But as you're making your money, pay your taxes. Full load. No loopholes, write-offs. No, full load. Pay your taxes. The government would be able to pay down debt. Just saying, there are a lot of good things that can happen if you have to pay your taxes the way they're supposed to be paid. They will give PPP loans to a business repairing wagon wheels. I think it's one of those things where you had people in Congress getting multi-million-dollar forgiven PPP loans while small businesses, a lot of them had to pay that money back. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. I'm just saying, there comes a point where big business has got to pay its own way. And you can't say that you can't make that happen because Costco, Arizona Iced Tea, they're making it happen. How come you can't make it happen? You should not be a company where you have people living with roommates that earn hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Like, are you serious? And I don't mean their kids. I mean, you've got people sleeping in parking lots. Don't believe me? Go do some research on, how many Amazon workers sleep in their cars in the Amazon parking lot and companies like that. Because it's not enough to actually have a decent life. We should be embarrassed. Not everybody. People at those companies that are making those decisions should be embarrassed. They should be ashamed. They should be shunned. You whine and complain that you need a tax write-off. Not even a tax write-off. Multiple tax write-offs. You whine and complain about that. You whine and complain about the tax laws. You whine and complain about everything. And then turn around and earn multi-billions of dollars in record profit or ridiculous profit. Good night, Rick Ritchie. So yeah, I look at everything, and that's why I do my own research. I know my entries and exits, and I absolutely invest deliberately. That's the whole idea. I think there's a time approaching rapidly where having a job is not going to be enough. You're going to have an additional revenue stream just to make ends meet. I think that's where we are. So I invest. It's fun. I get to learn. I get to earn. Just saying. So do what I do. Do what I do. Find ways to put food on the table. Multiple ways to put food on the table. Straight up. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, hit the likes. Tell your friends about this community. It's a completely different community than everybody else's. One, because it's a community. Two, you've got a host, moi, that actually pays attention to what you say. Three, we're all learning from each other. That's a pretty good deal. As always, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. Everybody, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.